What's going on, everybody? Crypto Headquarters here, and today I want to bring you guys a video about the cryptocurrency known as Lisk. So why is Lisk performing so well? Why is Lisk at its current price point? What's contributing? What's all these factors that go into this? Well, I'm going to be covering that. I'm going to be covering the rebranding, news, updates, and give you guys my personal opinion on a cryptocurrency that is currently the longest active holding in my portfolio to date. So with that said, I'm going to jump right into the disclaimer that says none of the information in this video is investment or financial advice. This is just simply my personal opinion. Please do your own research for investing. Invest at your own risk. Don't invest more than you can afford to lose, and consult a financial advisor if necessary. To be fully transparent with you guys, I am invested into Lisk. Like I previously said, it's the longest active holding in my portfolio right now, so I'm just letting you guys know that for transparency purposes. With that said, let's jump right into the video. Let's jump right into the numbers behind Lisk. So Lisk is currently sitting at $35.79, holds a rank of 14th overall, and an overall market cap of just over that $4.2 billion mark. So I have a condensed view of the Lisk graph over on CoinMarketCap.com regarding Lisk's price over time. So I'm going to quickly give you guys a little synopsis of where Lisk has been. So in November, Lisk definitely saw a price increase to that $10.10 mark. And what was that about? Why did Lisk cross over that $1.1 billion mark in November? Well, the same conference that we're getting 3 days from now on February 20th is actually a very similar conference they held back in November. Long story short, this conference did not live up to the expectations that many people in the community had for Lisk. A lot of people sold off after this conference as they released some news, but a lot of it pertained to the fact that there was going to be a lot of rebranding news and updates, roadmaps, SDK, stuff like that being launched and talked about in February and not right now. So a lot of people hyped up this conference saying, oh, we're going to hear about the rebranding now, it's going to come out next month, when in reality they pushed it back to February. So a lot of people were then a little bit bearish after that. They sold off a lot of their Lisk shares, and then Lisk dropped down to that $7 to $8 mark, even hitting $6 at some point. Couldn't sustain that. Then going into December, we got a huge price increase, green candlestick, up to that $26, $27 mark. Then we saw a somewhat of a bit of a consolidation period just above $20, and we held that for a little bit until the beginning of January, when all altcoins pretty much hit their all-time high. January 7th was that time for Lisk, hitting that $38.56 mark. And since then, I'd say Lisk has held up pretty well in terms of the crash. So obviously its all-time high was $37, but we have maintained this 22, 23 kind of consolidation point. Obviously we had a dip on February 6th that brought us all the way down to $12.71. So good for you guys if you guys were able to pick some up then. But since then, it's really only been upwards for Lisk, and we can really attribute this, in my opinion, to the fact that we are getting this rebranding conference here in 3 days on February 20th. You know, this is going to be actually concrete news. It's not going to be as much hype as the first time. Obviously, people are going to try to hype it up, but the first time we didn't exactly know what we were specifically getting, and this time, since they've already had that first conference announcing what this one will be, I think a lot more people are optimistic about the news that is going to be coming up here. But if I had to make a prediction in the short term and long term for Lisk, I think we're going to get to the conference, and depending on the type of news that they release, I think we're going to see one of two things. So I think we could see Lisk pass its all-time high, which I think is going to happen very soon here. We're already at $35.62. It's only going to take $2 or $3 more to shoot past that all-time high, and then we have a new one, even if it's by a little bit. So I think that is something that's going to happen very soon. But if Lisk announces some major news, like I'm talking, you know, major news at the conference, like if we're going from ant chairs to Neo, I don't think Lisk is a bad name, by the way, but if they completely rebrand, the community is behind it, everyone's optimistic, the news is great, maybe there's some positive news regarding the SDK or the roadmap, maybe they're adding some new team members, you get the idea. If we get some crazy news, I could see the price of Lisk potentially, in the hype of everything, hit that $50 mark, which really isn't too much of an ask. That's only $15, but that's if everything goes well. Even if we hit that, I do expect us to eventually sell off after that news, so maybe we could consolidate at that $40 mark, but maybe, just maybe, if the news presents itself and it's big enough and enough people get behind it and they FOMO in, which I don't recommend for you guys. Again, this is not investment or financial advice, but that's something you guys should definitely be aware of. I think we could see Lisk hit that $50 mark, but I don't think we're going to be able to sustain this. But again, this is all speculation. The other thing that I think could happen is that Lisk could just announce the rebranding. They could announce some awesome news, but nothing that's going to, you know, change anything about Lisk in the extremely long term. So while they might release something that's like a rebranding or a new name or something like that. Nothing astronomical. That's what I'm trying to say. And then I think at that point we could see Lisk potentially drop down to this $35 to $38 range, and maybe even a little bit lower because we have been holding those $20 ranges. But we're going to have to see based upon the type of news that comes out. But understand, whatever news comes out, people are going to be selling off because some people have already bought their position in Lisk before this, knowing this conference was coming up, only to sell the news when it comes to its peak. And the same thing happened in November. So I've seen this firsthand with Lisk, so definitely be wary of that. Next, I'm going to be using an article over on cryptocurrencynews.com to help me outline everything that you guys need to know about Lisk and its relaunch. So this article was written by Samara Malkin, and it's going to be linked down in the description of this video. It's very well written. It's a fantastic article, and I highly recommend that you guys check this out because there is going to be some information that I might miss. So what is Lisk? This is where the article starts off with. I know that people watching this video probably know what Lisk is, otherwise they wouldn't be watching the video, but a quick synopsis for those of you guys that don't is basically the Lisk Foundation is building a blockchain application platform that can be built upon by developers and users, making blockchain technology accessible to everyone. Through Lisk, anybody will be able to make their own blockchain network off of the Lisk main network and then can take on decentralized applications or dApps. Essentially, you'll be able to make your own decentralized version of the App Store. So developers, again, are going to be able to make their own decentralized version of the App Store off of the Lisk main network on blockchain side networks. Additionally, they're going to be able to make decentralized applications, and they're going to be able to use this using common coding languages like JavaScript, things that coders and programmers are already familiar with, so it isn't going to be that big of a leap into the Lisk kind of network and the Lisk sphere of influence when they go into this cryptocurrency if they want to code. So not a lot of new information there. It's going to be familiar, and it's going to allow more adoption, easier adoption from the outside of cryptocurrency and outside of blockchain for those interested in creating these decentralized applications. Additionally, please understand that the SDK is a word that I'm going to be using and I already have used in this video, and that stands for the Software Development Kit. This is what will allow the building of your own personal blockchain. So this is what's going to allow developers to allow other people on the platform to develop their own side blockchain. I actually think that didn't make a lot of sense what I just said, so let me rephrase that. The SDK is just going to be a kit that's going to allow developers who come on to the Lisk network, and it is going to allow them to make their own personal side blockchain. So it's a kit. You can think about it as something that's going to help people program their own side blockchain. But that's enough on that. So next I'm going to be talking about the Lisk relaunch. So the Lisk team has been hard at work on its rebranding step, and the relaunch is finally here. On February 20th, like I've said, Lisk will be holding a relaunch event in Berlin. All are welcome. If you can't make it, you can catch the live stream of the event. So the live stream is a clickable link right here that if you guys are interested, again, the article will be linked in the description of this video. You guys can definitely check out. So we still don't know exactly what the relaunch will bring us, but we do know that included in the announcement is Lisk's new brand identity, a new front-end design, a new dashboard, and a new wallet. So it is going to have a new identity, but there is no certainty whether Lisk is going to be called another name or whether they're going to change the logo. We have no idea regarding this. We're going to find out in 3 days. So again, the next thing I talk about is I'm curious if brand identity will go as far as a new name for the crypto. Will Lisk still be Lisk after the relaunch? 5 more days and we find out. 3 days in this video's case. So why the relaunch? This is so Lisk can create a unified experience when going from website to client to blockchain. Lisk is looking to provide the best user experience in the entire crypto space, and they believe that rebranding will help achieve this. The alpha version of the Lisk SDK will also be launching shortly afterwards. So we're going to get a few things with this rebranding. So Lisk is the idea behind this whole rebranding thing is that Lisk wants to provide the best user experience in the entire crypto space, and they think that Lisk and what it stands for right now could be improved in the future, hence the whole idea of this rebranding operation. Excuse me. So they also want to do something interesting, and I think that Lisk is a cryptocurrency that I've been so interested in because I think its real-world application is really second to none. In cryptocurrency, obviously, there are so many cryptocurrencies that have legitimate real use cases, and there's so many more that I can't name. I've covered a lot of them in my videos, but Lisk is one of the first ones that caught my eye, hence the reason that I've been into this cryptocurrency for a long time. And something that's interesting that they also mentioned in the article is that Lisk wants to create a unified experience when going from website to client to blockchain. So we already noticed that they're using JavaScript as a coding language to be able to program these decentralized applications, and the SDK will be launching shortly afterwards. So the ease of use for people to come in to the Lisk network and create their own side blockchain, to create their own dApps or whatever they may be creating, is actually one of the main reasons that I'm very bullish on Lisk. And the fact that Lisk understands not only that, but that if they want to be successful in cryptocurrency and blockchain, the best way to do this is to create a user experience that is, again, second to none. And that is the purpose of this whole rebranding. So that's just kind of my thoughts on what is going on right now in regards to Lisk and their future in the platform. The fact that they understand how consumers work and how people might want to use the Lisk platform is very, very knowledgeable, and something that I really look forward to regarding the Lisk team, and am very, very bullish on in that regard. Additionally, something I will say is that since first launching early in 2016, Lisk has grown 1,448.5% and is still steadily growing in popularity. There's several upcoming ICOs that are being launched on the Lisk platform, including Sapien. So right there, you already have ICOs being launched on the Lisk platform. That will be interesting to see. Obviously, Ethereum is one of the cryptocurrencies that launches ICOs all the time using the Ethereum network. But at the same time, I know Ethereum does have some scaling issues, and when an ICO launches or similar things of that nature happen, the Lisk network does get congested for a little bit amount of time. So I am interested to see how these ICOs work on the Lisk network as well. So that's going to be interesting to point out in the future and to keep an eye on. Quickly before I end the video, I want to give you guys my final thoughts and opinions on Lisk. So as you guys know, I am invested into Lisk and I do hold Lisk. So this may contribute some biases to what I am saying in today's video. I always let you guys know if I hold a cryptocurrency and if I'm going to make a video on it, because at the end of the day, it's good to be transparent with you guys and know that if I'm talking about an upcoming event regarding Lisk or any other cryptocurrency that I hold, please know that I do hold that. And in that sense, even if I say that I'm not interested in the price of that cryptocurrency, there is some ulterior motive here, even if I don't say that, even if I don't recognize it. Obviously, I do want Lisk to be successful as I hold it, but I do think I'm very realistic with the things that I say in regards to making prediction based on news and upcoming factual and educational information. But with that said, I do want you guys to know that in regards to transparency. So please watch some other videos on Lisk. Make sure you guys do your own due diligence and do your own research regarding it. But in my opinion here, this is not investment or financial advice. Again, I do think that Lisk is going to eventually surpass this all-time high very easily within the next few days. And once we get to that conference, it's really up in the air. It depends. I don't think that we're going to see Lisk get a new name. I think that that name is solidified within cryptocurrency, and I think that would potentially do more harm than it would do good. But then again, I'm not the developer of the cryptocurrency, so they might think differently, and they probably have thought about this a lot more than I have. But I do think that changing the name of Lisk would be a bad decision in the long term. I think it has enough brand identity and enough brand recognition. It's not a bad name. If you look at Ryblocks, for example, is it pronounced Rye? Is it pronounced Ray? What does XRB have to do with the actual cryptocurrency in itself? What does that mean? Stuff like that. I can understand a changing of a name, or even Ant shares to Neo. Like, what is an Ant share? It's not the most appealing name out there, much less to even understand what the cryptocurrency is. So in that regard, I can see how a rebranding could take place in regards to the name. But in Lisk's situation, I really like the name Lisk. I just do. I could see, if we're going to see anything, a new logo. Now, I do like the Lisk logo, I will say, but I do think that if they're going to change anything, that would probably be it. So I would bet on the logo being changed if anything is going to be changed in regards to its brand identity, and I think that the name probably will not be changed. I think it's a good, solid name with enough community support, enough brand identity, enough brand recognition in cryptocurrency. So that's kind of my thoughts regarding that. Again, I do think that if Lisk makes any huge price moves, it is going to see a pullback, especially since while the market as a whole has been slowly recovering the past few days as I make this video, it certainly hasn't gone full bullish. It certainly hasn't made any huge moves. And I think that if Lisk does tend to make any moves up to this rebranding announcements, it is going to see a pretty decently sized pullback. So if it does get up to that $50 mark, expect anywhere between 35 to $40 in a pullback, but that's just my personal opinion. It's not investment or financial advice, but I do think that a lot of people are going to be selling the news at the top, just like we saw at the November conference. And I understand that that was a little bit different of a situation where people suddenly weren't bullish on Lisk anymore. They were a little bit bearish after the news said that it was coming out in the in February right now. But at the same time, people are still going to take profits at the top, so do expect a bit of a pullback there, at least in my personal opinion, not investment or financial advice. But that's going to kind of end my final thoughts on Lisk. Very interested to see what this conference holds in 3 days. Again, we have a little bit of time to go before we get to that conference, so who knows where Lisk will get. Maybe Lisk will shatter my price prediction of $50. I have no idea. Hopefully it does. I obviously want to see Lisk be successful, so hopefully I'm wrong in that regard, but we will see. So that's going to do it for the video today, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Comment down below if there's any other cryptocurrencies you guys want to see me cover on my channel. I am open to taking this channel in whatever direction the community wants me to take it in. Additionally, your guys' support has been overwhelming. I've been seeing an influx of new subscribers, so welcome to the new channel. The next stop is 1,000 subscribers. I'm going to keep uploading daily content on this channel for your guys' enjoyment, so thank you guys so much for the support. It truly has been amazing. I'm going to end off with a disclaimer that says none of the information in this video is investment or financial advice. This is just simply my personal opinion. Please do your own research for investing. Invest at your own risk. Don't invest more than you can afford to lose. Consult a financial advisor if necessary. Again, as I've outlined multiple times in this video, I am invested into Lisk. I do hold Lisk in my portfolio. It is the longest holding that I currently have, and I'm very bullish on this cryptocurrency going into 2018. So thank you guys so much for watching the video. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, and have a great day.